My 42 female husband, 45 male, had a surprise gift to celebrate our first wedding anniversary, a trip to Disney World for the whole family this summer. Our kids are close in age but have very different personalities. My son, teen, is an extrovert, has a very active social life and does a lot of activities. My stepson, nearly adult, is an introvert who prefers to stay at home and doesn't have much going on outside of school. However, they still have a good relationship, sometimes playing video games together. My son wasn't on board with the Disney World idea at all. He had no interest in doing this kind of trip with his family. He was especially upset because it would make him miss his current girlfriend's birthday. He was really angry about the situation, yelling at me multiple times, demanding to stay at home instead of going on the trip, and accusing us of ruining his life. But on the other hand, my stepson was excited about the trip. My husband is used to having a kid with no friends when doing plans like this, so he didn't expect my son's reaction. Going just with my stepson would be anticlimactic. It wouldn't fulfill the original idea of it being a trip for the whole family. I also didn't want to leave my son alone with the house to himself, so we decided to leave them both so my stepson could keep an eye on my son's behavior while my husband and I had a romantic trip just for the two of us. My stepson is sad because he wants to go on the trip, but my son is happy about the new plan. My stepson was more intense about his disappointment at first, crying and whining a lot, but he's mostly calmed down by now. I asked my son to include his stepbrother a little in his social life while we're out so he wouldn't be so lonely, and he said he'd try to. My husband feels bad for his son being sad, but I'm convinced this is the best solution for everyone. Am I the idiot? What did I just read? I kept waiting to hear what the stepson did wrong. But no, it's your son who's an ungrateful brat, and the only thing your stepson did to warrant having his dream trip snatched away was, checks notes, being a decent human being. You now expect to do your job and parent your own kid? Here's an idea. Dad and stepson go to Disney, you and your entitled brat stay home. Having to put up with each other should be punishment enough for both of you. You are the idiot, OP. Yeah, what in the evil stepmother vibes is this? So you're punishing your stepson because of your son's behaviour? Will he need to sweep the fireplace too while he's at home? God, mother is entitled, the son is entitled, the stepson is suffering and the dad is spineless. Did I get that right? Well, she's going to Disney after all. She clearly doesn't like her stepson just by the disparaging way she describes him, so she'll be looking for reasons her son's misbehaviour is the stepson's fault. My favourite was, so my stepson can keep an eye on my son. But I asked my son to try to include his stepbrother a little in his social life while we're out. Ridiculous and stupid logic. If she can't trust her son, she needs to hire him a babysitter, not punish her stepson. Oh man, did anyone else see that teen extrovert kid is going to have a house without parental supervision for days? Also, his girlfriend's birthday is on those days. Make whatever you like, guys. What could possibly go wrong? Son's going to throw an epic party. Yep, the son will try to make OP a grandmother and she's hoping the stepson will stop him. And if he does get a girl pregnant, it will be the stepson's fault for not keeping an eye on him. How many ways can they make life miserable for the stepson? Take stepson to Disney and hire a 50-something babysitter to make sure son behaves himself. Bet your son will suddenly want to go to Disney when he realizes he won't have unfettered access to the house for a party. We live in a small town and our area has a single school. The rules for the school are, if you're handing out invites at school, everyone in the class must be invited. If you want to exclude some people, then you send the invites in the mail. My daughter had a birthday party 2 months ago and everyone was invited. Cindy is having a pool party in 2 weeks for her birthday. Her parents sent her to school with the invites and she handed them out before school started. Everyone in the class is invited besides my daughter. Since it was handed out before school, everyone knows my daughter isn't invited. My daughter is in first grade, so young. My daughter is a rule follower and she does tattle on people to the teacher often. She's learning to mind her business but needs help when they do something she thinks is wrong. She's also cautious for a kid and will tell people not to run around a pool and whatnot. I called Cindy's mom and asked if there was a mistake since my daughter came home upset. She told me no and wasn't invited because my daughter was a bossy buzzkill, that she would ruin the party. I lost it and called her a cruel person to exclude one of her kids' friends for being more cautious. She hung up on me after calling me an idiot. My husband told me I shouldn't have called, that Cindy's mom was correct about our kid being bossy and this was a lesson for her. Am I the idiot? They should have mailed the invites. I see why your daughter wasn't invited. Also, it may be a learned trait. When the parent walks through the door, I usually suddenly know why the kid is the way they are. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You are the idiot. It would have been better for your daughter not to know she was excluded. Still, these are young, excitable kids, and she probably would have found out about this party regardless of how the invitations were distributed. If the other parents violated some school policy, then take it up with the school and let them handle it how they see fit. It's not your job to enforce the rules. Your husband knows how your daughter is. Even you know how your daughter is based on your own minimizing statements. Let this be a teaching moment for your daughter. It's also not her job to enforce the rules. Okay, maybe I'm just confused, but is no one processing that the kid is in first grade? Like she's old enough to be learning, but not everyone has social skills, especially at that age. I feel like that age is not when you start excluding kids, especially in a public shaming way, and a grown woman was crapping on a kid like, what the heck? And if we consider this a learning moment, how is this a punishment that fits the crime? You don't socialize right and you're bossy, so let's exclude you and mess up your self-esteem from a young age. I'm baffled, Joel. So disappointed in humanity. I don't care if OP didn't fully handle the situation properly, because if that was my kid, I'd be losing it too. You are not the idiot. So I, 26 male, went out for dinner with a few friends last night. We were at this pretty nice restaurant and our waitress, female early 20s, caught my eye as soon as we sat down. I thought she was really cute and had a great sense of style. Her outfit was really unique and just seemed to suit her perfectly. Anyway, throughout the night she was really friendly and attentive, and I couldn't help but keep noticing her. After a while I decided to go for it and compliment her on her outfit. I said something like, "Hey, I just wanted to say that you look really cute tonight and your outfit is amazing. It suits you so well." She seemed to take the compliment well, smiling and thanking me. Later on, as we were finishing our meal, I decided to write my number on the receipt and leave it for her in case she was interested in talking more or even going on a date. When I handed her the receipt, I told her, "I hope this isn't too forward, but I've really enjoyed talking to you tonight and thought you might like to get in touch if you're interested." She took the receipt and thanked me, but her smile seemed a bit forced this time. I figured she wasn't interested and that was fine. I didn't want to push her or make her feel uncomfortable. After we left the restaurant, my friends told me that what I did was inappropriate and that I shouldn't have put her on the spot like that at her workplace. They said it's not okay to hit on service workers who are just trying to do their job. I genuinely didn't mean any harm and I was being polite and respectful about it. Am I the idiot for leaving my number on the bill? OMG, people still do that? After all the talk and awareness campaigns? The waitress is at her place of work. Her literal income depends on her being nice to customers, even if they are drooling, hounding, self-unaware specimens. Please repeat after me. She doesn't like you. She's trying to make a living. You are the idiot. Sheesh. Agreed, he was just too pushy and public about it. I worked as a waitress for many years. I gave out my number fairly often by writing my number on the check. I am a lesbian, though it is slightly different. I also had a couple of situationships from following up with girls who left their numbers on checks. No one ever cornered me, told me they were attracted to me, and handed me their number. That's weird. I've been in this uncomfortable situation a lot at work and it's not fun. I just want to make it through the day, not find a date. I try to be nice about it. He crossed the line when he called her cute. I wouldn't think much of it if he'd just said, "I like your outfit," and quietly left his number. It would make it awkward the next time he came in, though. If you're wondering what you should and shouldn't say, pretend the waitress is a man. Would you say the same thing? If not, you're probably crossing a line. A month ago, my oldest turned mid-teen. For his birthday, the plan was to let him skip school, get to the DMV when it opens, take the driving test, go on a small road trip, be back around when school gets out, and then all go out for a family dinner. On the weekend would be his celebration with his friends. Skipping school for the DMV test was planned in advance, but the road trip was a surprise. My wife asked me to take our toddler with me a few days before the road trip that day. I said I wasn't taking a toddler to the DMV, that place is a cesspit. Also, the road trip is for additional driving practice before he can drive unsupervised, so a toddler distracting him is not a good idea. My wife said she wanted the day to herself, and if I wasn't willing to take our toddler, the birthday stuff needed to be moved to the weekend so I could. I said I would take our toddler to work with me the next day, but our eldest birthday is his day, so he's the priority. She got angry and said she's made 100 sacrifices for our kids, and saying she isn't a priority, not what I said, is disgusting. It was a big fight. On my son's birthday, she texted me that I was an idiot multiple times. At the dinner, she was in a bad mood. After everyone ate, my dad asked us to go to the parking lot. He handed my son the keys to his car, saying he was getting a new one. He also said he would continue to pay the insurance for a year. My wife asked me if I knew about this, and I didn't. She didn't believe me. My wife has called and texted my dad multiple times asking if he's going to do this for all of our kids, saying he shouldn't have done this without asking us first and telling him if he can't do this for all the kids, he needs to take the car back. Eventually, he told her to shut up and stop bothering him. My wife told me I needed to stop talking to my dad. She said he used offensive language. He texted, "Stop bothering me, woman," which she says is misogynistic towards her, and I needed to support her. I said she needed to stop talking to my dad, not me. I'll support her not talking to him. My wife said I'm disrespecting her, that I won't listen when she said she needed help, and let my family treat her poorly. I think she's creating these situations herself. She looks for offense and then finds it. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I can't believe anyone would think that taking a toddler to your oldest son's driving test and road trip on his birthday would be the time for a break. That's a punishment for your older child. This whole thing smells of something bigger. Is your older son hers biologically? He is. We actually have 6 kids. They have had their struggles in the past, but I thought that was behind us. Also, this time she isn't fighting with him, she's fighting with me and my dad. So I don't know why this is happening. I'm sorry, but what the heck is your wife's problem? The way she has acted is selfish. Expecting your son's birthday to become about her, thinking it's even remotely appropriate for a brand new driver to drive a toddler around, and then flipping out because in 10 plus years your other child might not also get a car, and if she doesn't, your son must give his back? This is outrageous behaviour. I'm sorry, but I have to assume massive favouritism is happening here. The way she spoke to your father is also disgusting. I'm so sorry you're going through this, but you need to speak to your son alone and ask him how she treats him when you aren't around. Her behaviour is very worrying. 6 kids? She's taking care of 6 kids? Hope he doesn't mention it until the comments, so it sounds like she's at the end of her rope. Probably a lot of his non-parenting has led to this. And no, I'm not taking a huge leap. Men really act oblivious, even with their own children. I still resent my husband's 30-minute toilet visits while I had a newborn and toddler. I never got that sort of time out automatically as he did without question, and it builds up. Yeah, something's up or something's missing from this story. Why was the wife demanding to take a day for herself that just happened to be her eldest child's special birthday? Everyone's the idiot here. I would be furious too if someone gave my kid a car without clearing it with both parents first. She is the bad guy if she refuses to give your son that kind of freedom and responsibility. Your father should know better and should never have shut her down like that. About a month ago, I got a free bike from my cousin, an old red beach cruiser of unknown make. I needed a bike because my last one was stolen and I'm too broke to buy a new one. My cousin then told me he had an old beat-up bike in his parents' backyard and I could have it if I wanted it. When I picked it up, it looked like a mess. Covered in mud, rusty chain, nickel paint, and dry cracking on the white sidewalls of the tyres. There was even moss on it, but I took it away and thanked them. I got it home, cleaned it up, touched up the paint with nail polish, lubed the chain with WD-40, put new $7 grips on it, tightened the rear gear, cleaned most of the rust off any chrome, put on an aluminium kickstand that the bike shop tossed out as garbage, and it became my daily rider. The tubes and tyres are still good and I got it back on the road for less than $10. And honestly, I like it. Ride's a little bouncy, but the coaster brake is fun and it's simple and reliable. The problem is my cousin saw me riding it last week and at first he didn't recognise it as the same bike. It was so covered in mud previously that he thought it was rusted over. And now he says that I scammed him and he wants $60 for the bike or to give it back so he can sell it. I refused and said he didn't want it in the first place, and I like riding it. He's calling me a jerk and telling his friends and family I've robbed him. The family is all on my side, including his parents, but his friends think I'm a jerk. But I'm the one who put the work into fixing this bike he gave me free as trash, and I'm the one who actually uses it, unlike my cousin. Am I the idiot for not giving the bike back or giving money for it? obviously not the idiot. Your cousin is being ridiculous. He gave you a bike that apparently he thought was completely worthless and perhaps not even usable, and now that you fixed it up, he thinks you scammed him? What a joke! His friends are on his side because they're his friends and because he likely didn't explain the situation fully or correctly to them, so don't worry about what they think. Exactly, the cousin is trying to scam and take advantage of OP. The cousin saw the bike as trash that got taken off his hands. He didn't have the time or the energy required to discard it. Now that OP has taken the time to repair the bike and proven that it still works, the cousin wants to swindle OP to make a quick buck. And, as you said, the scammer cousin probably only told his friends half of the story. Just make sure to lock the bike when away from it, as a side note. Call a bike shop and ask about their hourly rate for repairing a bike. Tell your cousin he can have the bike back minus the cost of repair material plus the labour you spent on it. I guarantee it will be more than $60 and probably more than he could sell the bike for. He doesn't get to profit off your labour for free. Don't even do this. Just tell your cousin a gift is a gift and kindly go away. He's 100% in the wrong. Your whole family is on your side. Just ignore him. You did all of the work to restore it. It's yours now.